Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Tensei Slime light novel recap here on AniMonolith. Continuing from the last part, Ramirez wasted no time yelling at Beretta to take Dino down. Of course, she herself wasn't going to fight. Dino knew that from the start, so his attention was fully locked on Beretta, and then, out of nowhere, Dino pulled out a massive sword, the Kuzurekiba, or Crumbling Fang. This thing was as tall as he was, with a single thick blade so heavy it looked like just dropping it on someone would be enough to crush them flat. Yet Dino rested it casually on his shoulder as if it weighed nothing. The control room instantly turned into a battlefield. Desks and chairs were smashed aside as Beretta rushed in, trading blows with Dino. Meanwhile, Ramirez ordered Alpha and the others to evacuate the important equipment from the room. But even in the chaos, Ramirez couldn't help but eye Dino's weapon. "Alpha, how strong is that sword?" she asked. "In terms of existence value, about 1 million. That was all Ramirez needed to blow up. What the hell, a mythical grade weapon? That's cheating. Dino ignored her shouting. On the other hand, Beretta, fighting barehanded, didn't seem at a disadvantage. After all, his body itself was a weapon, a living construct of magic steel, adamantite, strengthened by his aura. In essence, his whole form was a legendary grade armament, nearly indestructible. Even so, Beretta wasn't careless. He knew if he took a single hit from that blade, he'd be destroyed on the spot. So he focused on evasion, deflecting where possible and weaving around Dino's strikes. At the start, Dino and Beretta's existence values had been equal at around 400,000, but once Dino drew Kuzurekiba, his value skyrocketed. Alpha reported it climbing from 400,000 to 2 million, and with the sword's power added, a terrifying 3 million in total. Ramirez scoffed at the numbers, claiming Dino must have fooled the existence meter somehow, but she still shouted, "No need to hold back, Beretta. Show that lazy fool what real fighting looks like." "I'll do my best, though my strength alone may not be enough." The gap was huge, over sevenfold, yet Beretta still held his ground. How? By turning his entire body into a weapon, adapting constantly with his unique skill, Double Crosser, he could constantly switch attributes one after another and search for Dino's weaknesses. Step by step, he forced Dino onto the defensive, even managing to land some damage. Unlike Dino, who relied solely on his mythical sword, Beretta could attack in countless ways, and the precision of his movements gave him the edge. Dino noticed, clicking his tongue. "So you're one of the black lineage. No wonder you're so annoying with those dirty tactics." "Why, thank you." "Who's complimenting you?" Even in banter, Beretta used every word like a weapon, refusing to let Dino's overwhelming power crush his spirit. The fight had only just begun. Dino quickly realized this fight wasn't going the way he wanted. His surprise attack had failed, the plan was falling apart, and now Beretta was proving far more troublesome than expected. Inside the labyrinth, Beretta had a huge advantage. He could fight without fear of running out of energy or permanently dying, since resurrection was guaranteed. That freedom allowed him to go all out against Dino. Even though Dino's raw power far surpassed Beretta's, the puppet's skill level and composure made the difference smaller than expected. What irritated Dino the most was Beretta's black line style of combat. Patient, calculating, and impossible to bait. Even when Dino deliberately left openings, Beretta didn't fall for them. Worse, his counterattacks actually injured Dino. This was shocking because as a Fallen, Dino were not good at dealing with holy attributes, but it was not a decisive weakness. But Beretta's blows combined both holy and demonic attributes at once, creating an assault that was nearly impossible to defend against. Similar to spirit-based attacks that bypassed normal defenses and could only be resisted through sheer willpower. Still, Dino was adapting. From the outside, it looked like Beretta was suppressing him, but Dino knew it would only take one clean strike with Kuzurekiba to decide the battle. On the other hand, Beretta wasn't aiming to win. His priority was simply protecting Ramirez. That meant Dino's plan would eventually fail if he didn't change tactics. So, Dino finally played his trump card. The reason he had held back was because he didn't want to kill anyone unnecessarily. Not Beretta, not Ramirez, not even Shinji's group. But now, with his preparations complete, he activated his unique skill, Sloth. "Beretta, you've done well. Now, slothful sleep. Fall in hypno." A wave spread across the room. Unlike a direct attack, this ability inflicted no damage. Instead, it forced all living beings into a deep sleep, from which they could only awaken if Dino allowed it. It was one of the strongest unique skills in the Deadly Sin system, impossible to resist without an ultimate skill. But it required time to activate, fitting for the sin of sloth. One by one, his opponents collapsed. Vesta, Shinji, and the others had already fallen asleep earlier, spared from harm because Dino still considered them comrades. Ramirez followed soon after. Dino muttered to himself that he truly didn't want to betray them, but Feldway's orders were absolute. Even so, he promised he'd try to persuade Feldway to abandon this attack. Just as he reached out to grab Ramirez, a cold voice cut him off. "I won't let you." Dino turned, and there she was. A woman with golden and silver filaments gleaming across her body, a jet-black adamantite exoskeleton guarding her vital points, and 4 shimmering butterfly-like wings. Her compound eyes shone with the same blue brilliance, radiating both beauty and majesty. She was none other than Apito, the insect queen, newly awakened from her evolutionary slumber. "Apito? Good timing," Beretta's voice came weakly. Though demons didn't need sleep, he had still been forced into a low-activity state. With what strength remained, he made one final request: destroy my holy demon core. Dino was shocked. Beretta was still conscious. That split-second hesitation was all Apito needed. Without hesitation, she unleashed her deadly stinger, piercing Beretta's adamantite body and shattering his core. Beretta's form dissolved into particles of light. "Well done, Apito. I leave the rest to you." "Understood. Though I doubt I can defeat him, I'll do what I can until your return." Her words were humble, but her tone was filled with confidence, which even Dino picked up on with irritation. And then, with Beretta gone, Apito launched herself forward at supersonic speed, throwing herself headlong into battle against Dino. The clash in the control room was far from over. After her evolution, Apito had a speed-focused fighting style. Her existence value might only be around 700,000, but in terms of agility, she was equal to Dino himself. She didn't fight him directly, but used hit-and-run tactics, darting in and out with her rapier. Even if Dino wanted to crush her quickly, he knew Beretta would return within a minute, thanks to teleportation. Against one, it was easy. Against both, it became a real headache. Beretta and Apito coordinated perfectly. Beretta acted as a shield, throwing heavy punches and supporting Apito with enhancement magic, while Apito exploited every opening with her stinger-like thrusts. Even Dino had to admit their teamwork was frustrating. It forced him on the defensive, dodging again and again. Annoyed, Dino finally snapped. "Two people teaming up to bully a weak man like me. You should be grateful I've entertained you this long. Time to sleep. Slothful sleep? Fall in hypno." The wave spread out. Apito collapsed instantly, but Beretta remained standing. Dino's eyes widened. "What the? You resisted it?" "Of course," Beretta replied calmly. "Once is enough. I won't fall for it again." As a demon, Beretta already had resistance to abnormal status effects. On top of that, with his unique skilled double-crosser, he could reverse the sleep effect entirely. Dino realized his easy win had just slipped away. Beretta even finished off Apito's body himself so that she could safely resurrect. Impressed but irritated, Dino admitted, "Not bad. You forced me to get serious." At last he revealed his trump card. From the beginning, he had been hiding his most dangerous power, the ultimate skill Heavenly King Astarte, a gift from Veldanava himself. Using its ability of creative evolution, Dino forced his unique skill sloth to evolve into the ultimate skill sloth, King Belphegor. That was Dino's secret move. The creative evolution of the ultimate skill, Heavenly King Astarte. If one uses the power of the ultimate skill, Heavenly King Astarte, they can achieve their desired evolution, though it is limited to their own skill. Sloth was already dangerous. The lazier Dino lived, the more power he accumulated over time. With this evolution, that hidden stockpile became a devastating weapon. Dino had carefully concealed this skill until now, even from Rimuru's surveillance, knowing how dangerous it would be if exposed. Demon Lord Rimuru was not an opponent to be underestimated. When it came to him, Dino knew that there was no such thing as too much caution. That is why Dino created the Sloth King Belphegor as a power he could show. Now, that power was targeting Beretta, but here in the control room of the labyrinth, he finally unleashed it. Now sleep, fallen catastrophe! Reality itself trembled as the law of activity was rewritten into cessation. This was no ordinary sleep. It guided the soul itself toward destruction. Whether living or dead, mind and body alike would be eroded until nothing remained. This power did not use sound as a medium to transmit the interference waves. It could not be prevented by physical barriers or the like. It was worth mentioning that there were very few means of defense. It was absolute domination over all beings with reason or emotions. the terrifying authority of the Sloth King, Belphegor. The battle had entered an entirely new stage, and Beretta now stood face to face with Dino's true power, and that wraps up the events for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again in the next episode on AniMonolith.